Welcome to Coach and Company, presented by Code.
Oh, and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? I feel great today. I hope that you guys do too. This is our busiest day of the week coming out of BTT Studios, and we've been grinding all weekend long. Shout out to everybody that still does content on the weekend because it's not easy, but if you want your brand to grow, somebody's got to do it. So Weekend Wagers, they were out there doing their thing, and also Mikey P and Raphael handling business for Coach and Company. Now, throughout the day, we just grind on Mondays. Here's our schedule. I need you to subscribe to both of our YouTube pages, Coach and Company and BTT. Turn on your notifications because we have a lot going on. At 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time, it's the podcast to support the morning show. Just 20 or 30 minutes, that's it. Then in the afternoon, 2 to 4 Eastern Time on channel 156, it's hashtag Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, all things pro wrestling. Then we get into the business of pro wrestling at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Coach and Bro Show. If you haven't watched the Karrion Kross Scarlett interview, I encourage you to do so. Then, of course, 7 o'clock, who's going to be the next one? In the Legends Lounge, coming off another banana weekend in football. We do Beamer Buster, we do Best Bets, me, Mikey P, Raphael, and, of course, our resident Figazi, Big Tommy C. If you want to be a premium member, we've got nighttime premium shows coming out of our ears. Turn on your notifications and follow me on the X. I'll be putting out our schedule for later this week. We have a ton of fun. We cash a bunch of tickets, a bunch of live betting. All you got to do is scan that QR code. It pays for itself. And if you get a piece of merch, and we have 3 new merch items coming out in the next 5 to 7 days, take a picture. Do what Wolsey did. Send it in. We'll put it right up onto the show. All right. Coming up over the course of the next 60 minutes, we got NBA Showcase, a full slate of games tonight in the National Basketball Association. We got a big, and I mean a big-time Monday Night Football game, Eagles and the Packers. And then, of course, coming up in about 13 minutes, we've got the Weekend Rewind. Where are my guys going to go based off of college, NFL, whatever they want to talk about? All right? So let's get it going because they're ready to go. A lot of energy this morning. I hear, yeah, they're bickering out there because I let me in. No, let me in. It's time to beat the books. Let's go. All right, I've seen the numbers. We got new people coming in every single day, so meet my crew here on a Monday. First and foremost, we have a little rule here. If you have the best weekend or the best day, you get the first 15 seconds of the show. Footy Friday, it went 4-1. That's 80%. My man from the dirty Big Chuck, the floor is yours.
Morning, Coachman. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, Paris FC let us down in the opening, but we made up for it on Saturday and Sunday. And wouldn't you know, as soon as we get a little momentum, here comes the good old international break. But it'll be done in a couple of weeks, and we'll get right back to schedule. But in the meantime, we got plenty of sports to hold us over.
You're damn right we do, and my man covers all of them right next door. He's the host of Weekday Wagers, and they grind out their content too. Say hello to the man live from Memphis, Tennessee. DG, what's good?
Morning, Coach. Morning, guys. It was a fun halftime show. It was a terrible game yesterday. But as we all know, let's look back at the Memphis Tigers on Friday. They have it all in front of them, and they screw themselves over. They suck. They're frauds, Coach.
You have it right in front of you. You got a spot in the playoffs, and you give up 38 to Tulane, a team that lost to UTSA. What are we doing? But we cashed some live tickets. We cashed some live tickets in that midweek stuff, not the Memphis game, of course. Now, you went 5-2 last night, while this man says, hold my beer, because they went 6-3 on their primetime show. He's our numbers guy for a reason. Say good morning to Raphael Esparza. Good morning, Raphael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, family. A great weekend. And I want to give some props out. Coach, great interview with the other day. Fantastic. And I watched the movie Christie last night. I got it sent to me. Fantastic movie. I did not believe the stuff that she went through. Knew her story a little bit, but wow, fantastic movie when it hits the movie theaters. Definitely.
Christie. Maybe we'll have that movie come on here. I don't know. That's what we want this brand to be. Finally. I'm driving around last night in my car. I'm taking my kids out, celebratory dinner. My daughter had her big play, and I turn on ESPN radio, and what voice do I hear? The docile tones of one live from Atlanta, Georgia. Mr. Zeno, good morning.
Morning, Coach. Morning, everybody. November 10th, like to wish a happy 250th birthday to the United States Marine Corps. Gentlemen, enjoy your day by eating crayons and giving each other wedgies.
And thank you, sir, for your service. As always, this is a special time of year and a special Monday as always. So thank you for being here and for everything that you've done. All right, let's get to it, because we have been kind of toiling like a lot of shows out there, like a lot of people, because none of these bets make any sense. But they're going to make sense this week. I feel 5 winning days at our fingertips. But we got to start with something. Who wants... Oh, DG, I knew it'd be you. Best bet, start us off. Go.
Let's start off with some kickers, because the kickers continue to cash their Zeno. We're going to go with Brandon McManus. We're going to go over the 1.5 field goals at plus 105. It is absolutely frigid there in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but it doesn't matter. These kickers are built different. And so he's made 2+ field goals in 6 of 8 this season. In Philly, they have allowed 2+ field goal attempts in all but one game this season. I like McManus to go ahead and cash us 2 field goals. Well, let's go to the association here in the NBA. We're going to go Jaden McDaniels for the Timberwolves. We're going to go over the 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's at minus 110. He's averaging 25.2 PRA on the season, and he's just scoring 18.6 points per game. Utah allows top 10 against the small forward position in every category. Utah sucks, and he cashes again for us.
Last night, they scored 144 points against Sacramento. He had 29 PRA less than 24 hours ago. I love this Minnesota team. Now that Anthony Edwards is back, they spread it around, but he's kind of the glue, DG. He's kind of the glue of this team. I love him, and I love that play. All right, great start. Let's come right next door. Raphael, 2 best bets. Go.
We're going to Monday Night Football. We're going to take the Green Bay Packers team total over 22.5. This will probably climb just because the total's climbing. We'll probably see 46 when this kicks off. It's just redemption from that home loss last week. They barely scored points against Carolina. I just think early touchdowns. And don't forget, the Packers are averaging 23.5 points per game at home. I think they put up 24, 25. It wouldn't shock me if they get the home win as well. And then give me Jalen Hurts to score a TD at plus 3 nickels. Really? Plus 3 nickels? Yes, he has 5 touchdowns this year. But I have 2 words for you. Tush push. We're going to see it today. They're going to score a touchdown. Give me Jalen Hurts plus 3 nickels to score a TD.
Oh, my God. If they take 4 times like they did a couple weeks ago, I will lose my – you'll hear me screaming from Southern California. Now, you just said something very, very interesting. You said you could even see the Packers winning this game on the field. If only somebody else on the oh, wait a second. We have a little, say it with me, everybody. Synergy.
A little bit better.
We're getting there, sort of. All right, Zeno, big dog, you're up.
Packers money line. Why? Because I initially liked the Eagles, and the Eagles were a very public bet. And the only public bet to win yesterday was the Detroit Lions. They've gotten crushed this weekend, but in all seriousness, the Packers are a short favorite here for a reason, and need a bounce back after a bad loss last week to Carolina. I know the Eagles are coming off a bye here, and Jordan Love is not my favorite guy to back here, but the right side is Green Bay at home here against a short number. And then we'll go to college hoops and look at the LSU Tigers, who are taking on New Orleans in Baton Rouge. But the New Orleans Privateers, who upset TCU on the road in their opener, then played some Division II Sisters of the Poor. Last year that was 4-27 overall and 3-15 on the road. LSU is going to put a beat down on this team. Anything under 20 to me is bettable at this point in time. LSU comes out and smokes the Privateers.
Where I'm looking for the start of that game, and I just can't.
Extra game.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I was on yesterday. I was like, why are there scores on these games in the schedule that I'm looking at? Because I'm a moron, and that was yesterday's schedule. Do you find, Zeno, that in early season college basketball, you can find some of these pockets because the sports books can't possibly know 60 college basketball teams when every other sport is also out there being played?
Well, it's just a matter of, there's probably a standard for a caliber of an SEC team versus a wherever conference they are, and it's rated off a conference rank, and they'll just set that number in the high 20s, low 30s. Number feels a little bit short here for LSU, but I think in general, this is a spot here for a privateers team that might be still riding a little bit of a high after beating TCU.
Yeah, anytime you can knock young Peyton off of his high horse, any college team is going to enjoy that. They really, really are. All right, Big Chuck, my God. Many people that may be new to the brand don't realize that you're as sharp on other sports as you are on day soccer. Talk to me, big boy. Talk to me.
I'm going to go to the NFL also, but this time I'm going to go with a player prop. Dallas Goedert over 32.5 receiving yards. For whatever reason, this Packers defense has allowed tight ends to have nice days. They've allowed at least 41 receiving yards and 7 straight at an average of 83. We'll happily go ahead and back Mr. Goddard in this one. And then the NHL soccer on ice. New Jersey, the Islanders, 2 higher scoring teams, especially the Islanders that went over the total in 12 of 16 and 11 of 14 on the road. And we get an even number, I'll happily back the over 6 in Jersey.
And I will happily back you as well. 4 games on the ice tonight, 7, 8:30, and 10 o'clock as well. Now, we also like to look at, because every sport is out there right now, NHL, MLS, LM. There are a lot of dogs, and we like just to have a little bit of fun. It's not an official play on the show, but it's fun to talk about. The Eagles, a very, very, very small dog tonight. The Bulls against the Spurs, and the Blazers, they continue their good play, but the Magic, a slight favorite. So, DG, if you had to play one of these dogs to win, who would you go with?
I'm going to go with the Blazers. The Magic haven't really figured it out yet with the new addition of Desmond Bain, so I like the Blazers to win on the road.
God, I really like watching this team play. They're so much fun. Raphael, where would you head?
I think the Bulls are the way to
doing?
go. I think the Bulls is the way to go on this. When they come back home, they went down to earth, losing back-to-back games. I think the Bulls can pull off a W over Wemby.
He's become very fascinating, Big Chuck, lately. Some games great, other games soft with a capital S. Your thoughts?
I'm going to have to agree with Raffy Sandwich. I'm going to have to go with the Bulls. I think the Blazers and the Eagles, 2 public sides tonight. Yeah, I'll ride with the Bulls against the Spurs.
Right now, the Bulls, as I look at it, are 6-3, a really good start. Zeno, if you had to, I know it's not going to be the Eagles. Where would you go?
The Bulls. It's Wemby's inconsistency at times for how good and how athletic he is for his size sometimes is alarming here. And, when you look at Chicago, their start has been really impressive. But moreover, just given the fact that this roster isn't somebody that, that lights doesn't really, send up a lot of signals like, hey, this is a really good team. Give me the home dog here and sprinkle a little on the money line.
I could not agree more. DG, right now, your Memphis Grizzlies, you always keep a tab on that. They're 4-7. Last night, a lot of points, but where are you guys at right now? I got about 30 seconds for you.
Yeah, we suck, Coach. That's where we're at. They were leading OKC at halftime, and the third quarter just went to the refs literally just gave them foul line after foul line after foul line. So, yes, but they're terrible. John Morant is just a shell of himself.
Are they going to ship him out sooner rather than later?
Not this season. Not this season at all. I don't think there's any way you can move him on because of the city. He means a lot to the city itself.
$39 million. I wonder what means more, the Ducks coming out of the hotel or John Morant? I think it's a very legit question.
I don't know. Them Peabody Ducks are they're iconic for sure.
They've had to traded some of those in. They're not still the same ones are still alive.
No.
They're like new Ducks.
Right.
They got to train the new Ducks. Okay.
Yes.
Very, very good. All right, gentlemen. We're off to a great start. I absolutely feel great about our picks today. Don't forget more best bets coming up tonight on the Monday Night Grind. All right, coming up on the other side, it's weekend rewind time. And the NFL, college football has given us so much content. Where are my guys going to go? Also, is it time for a running back to get all of the flowers? Then coming up in 20 minutes, we dig a little deeper into the Eagles and the Packers, a pivotal game for seeding for the playoffs, all of that. We're just getting started. It's Coach and Company live on a Monday, Stadium and Bally Sports Live. All right, we continue on here on our YouTube page. Zeno, you did ESPN Radio all over the weekend, and Brian Kelly continues to be the gift that keeps on giving. He has rejected, count them, 2 different offers from LSU. What are we doing here? I thought it was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, well, there will be lawyers, as they say, and there always would be. So the way the buyout works is that he was supposed to get a monthly payment of the $54 million through 2031, which is obviously 6 years down the road, minus any future salary he receives in coaching that he gets from somebody else. Well, LSU tried to give him the old okey doke here and say, it's 25 mil right up front right now, all of it. And he said, no, 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 no. Then they came back after they fired their athletic director, and the new one came in and said, we'll give you 30 mil. And he went, oh, no, 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 no. And then he pulled the old Stewie from Family Guy. Have the money to me by 5 o'clock. Any problem. Which is exactly what they're saying. Have it to me by 6 p.m. today, and there won't be any problems. Otherwise, we'll see you in court.
Wow. This is very DG on brand for Brian Kelly, though.
Yeah, for sure. And at this point, like, I'd say, listen, stand on it. Like, get your money because, hey, listen, you signed the contract. They need to go ahead and pay for all of that contract. And I get it. Listen, I'm going to stand on it for sure if I'm Brian Kelly.
No. He's supposed to pull the good fellas here. Oh, you don't like the deal? Bleep you, pay me. Oh, the boosters won't pay it? Bleep you, pay me. That's what Brian Kelly should do.
I agree. Raphael, you live 60 miles from this story. What's going on?
It's been a train wreck. Everything coming out of Baton Rouge right now has just been a train wreck with Brian Kelly, the firings, the governor speaking when he shouldn't be speaking. It's just been an absolute train wreck.
At least they managed to get to double figures against Alabama. Oh, no. They weren't even able to do that. Was that the worst LSU Alabama game we've seen in years? Very interesting down there for LSU. Who's going to be the next coach to watch? Everybody says, oh, nobody wants that job. Best to believe. They offer somebody $5 or $6 million. They're lining up. And the four of us as well. All right, it's time to get into the full weekend in Weekend Rewind. And there's so many great topics to get into. We're back live in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Company on a glorious Monday full of content. I believe 5 big shows today coming out of our studios, and hopefully you can hang out for all of them. For the next 15 minutes or so, Big Chuck will be in the chat. Any questions for him when it comes to sports betting, ask him. He'll answer them for you in real time. We value all of you who watch on YouTube and on social media. All right, it's that time of the week that I absolutely love. It's Mondays. It is segment number 2. We call it the Weekend Rewind. All righty. A lot of scores that just have you scratching your head coming out of the NFL and some great emotional, heart-stopping performances in college. All right, where are we going to go first? DG, I'm going to start with you because out here in the West, the NFC might have by far their best division. Start us off.
We're going to go and look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens at this point. We're looking at a Ravens team that we wrote off because Lamar Jackson wasn't playing. He was hurt. The team wasn't very good, and the Steelers were kind of running away with it. But now if you look up after that performance from the aging Aaron Rodgers, it was ugly. But now if I look at this moving forward, Baltimore should be in the pole position because now they have the Browns, Jets, Bengals, and then Steelers the next 4 weeks. Looking at the Steelers, Bengals, Bears, Bills, Ravens. The Steelers could look to plummet at this point, and it could be a runaway for Baltimore. And that is shocking because literally 3 weeks ago, we kind of were writing them off at that point.
Real quick, Zeno, you were really high on the Steelers preseason. Are you still high on them right now?
No, but I never wrote the Ravens off either. That was foolish. I mean, the 1-5 start, you had no reason to write them off. There have been teams that have done it before, and this was a team that had their quarterback hurt since week 3. I mean, all these things were justified, but I don't feel good about holding a Steelers AFC North Division winner ticket.
Right now, 1-game lead and a juggernaut, a plethora, a gauntlet right in front of them. DG, great start. And because I'm an idiot and I tossed to the wrong guy, now we're talking the NFC West. But thank you for picking me up on that, DG. Raphael, coming back over to you because yesterday the Seahawks scored over 40. The Rams scored over 40, beating the Niners. Oh, big cheesy. I see you out there, big dog. Raphael, where are you going today?
I can't believe we're going to say this. The Seattle Seahawks. I remember when we were all making fun of Sam Darnold before the season started. Oh, what would happen in the playoffs when he was with the Vikings? He's not going to do nothing for Seattle. You know what the total season wins for the Seahawks was? 8.5. The under was at -140. They were up 38-7 at halftime yesterday. 38-7. Some of those teams have been scored 45 points in a game, and that was the halftime score. This team was just well balanced from offense to defense. They got better on offense with the trade deadline. I would not want to play an MVP candidate, Sam Darnold, Seattle Seahawks.
All right. Very, very good. I love the Seahawks right now. I absolutely do. All right. I'm going to go next. And my weekend rewind topic is I'm going to go to college football because we talk week in and week out about how style points are absolutely going to matter depending on the seeding, and top 4 seeds get a bye. Very, very important. So now the question is begged that if you win a tight one on the road, is that enough? What am I talking about? Oregon. They go to Iowa. And by the way, Kirk Herbstreit on game day said there's going to be something special. It's going to be 15-13 when Iowa does something to win the game. It was 15-10 when that happened, and they scored a touchdown. But you got to have these 2-point plays in your back pocket, the ones that you got to have, because they throw it out in the end zone, and Oregon able to come down some big passes. They win 18-16. Then you got Indiana, the finish of the year, the catch of the year. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at it. But they beat Penn State only by 3. The same Penn State team that has been awful all year round. But does it affect Indiana at all? I don't know. Should it? Because they're not blowing a team out that they should? I don't know. But we're going to see when the rankings come out on Tuesday. But both Big Ten teams in the top 7 got the job done. Now, they played this weekend, Zeno, but there was a couple of teams in the NFL that did not play this weekend. So, out of sight, out of mind, where are you headed?
Well, now I want to change after what Raph said, because now it just made me throw up my mouth. But the whole point here is that can we just really kind of just give the trophy to the Chiefs now? Like, that's how bad the rest of this NFL is. It is so mediocre across the board. And I don't know that there's anybody right now that really I feel confident in saying can win a Super Bowl at this point in time other than the Kansas City Chiefs, which makes me absolutely nauseous. And we are so bad that Raph has to put Sam Darnold in an MVP conversation. The guy's going to won a playoff game. Pump the freaking brakes. The guy leading the MVP race now, oh my God, his wins are against the Panthers, the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, the Falcons. My God, the Dolphins. Like, we are so bad in the NFL right now that you don't even have to be good to be in an MVP conversation.
It begs the question, should Jonathan Taylor legitimately, I think you said last night, I believe you said last night, Derrick Henry. Did you not say that?
Derrick Henry with 2,000 yards rushing for an MVP, a running back will never get it again, because we did it again last year with Saquon. Does not matter.
See, I listen to you. I listen to your content. You think I'm lying to you? I don't lie to you. DG, Jonathan Taylor yesterday, 32 carries, 244 yards, and they covered miraculously because they were given around 4.5 or 5, depending on your book. With how bad everything the guys have said, should Jonathan Taylor legitimately be looked at for that MVP?
Yes, and we've seen in the past that maybe they don't go that direction, but that doesn't matter. I'm saying right now, yes, he should be, because without him, whenever a team can stop Jonathan Taylor or just kind of limit him, Daniel Jones turns into a pumpkin. And so at that point, I look at Jonathan Taylor being the MVP of the league. Without him, they're not any good. I guess they're okay, but they're not that great, especially as good as they are right now.
And with that MVP conversation, Raphael, as we bring the numbers in, it also leads to certain rivalries right now that people are sleeping on, namely the AFC East. The Patriots are 8-2, and they won again yesterday. Late, they had that late touchdown, team total over. Buffalo is 6-3, 1.5 games back, and they've lost to the Patriots, which means right now the tiebreaker go to the Pats. Drake May, Raphael, where is he at?
Another MVP candidate, but the Bills, their window is completely shut, and that loss is a coach firing loss right there. I think you can't lose that game after a big win. That's a horrible loss for the Bills. Their window is completely shut.
Zeno, the Bills yesterday, it was as bad a performance as I've seen. You get down there second half, you're only down 16. You drive it for 8.5 minutes or whatever it was, and you throw a pick in the end zone. Josh Allen and the Bills should be on notice, yes?
I'm testing Raph after the show for illicit drug. The window is shut. Like the Bills all of a sudden aren't going to the playoffs? Is that what we're saying here? Because they lost to the Dolphins?
They may not have a home game.
Simple math tells you, guess what? If there's 3 from the AFC West, 1 from the AFC South, 1 from the AFC North, division champion the AFC East, the Bills, even if they don't win the division, are going to the playoffs. Stop with the window is shut stuff. Okay, it's a bad loss. It's a division loss. Guess what? You're allowed to lose division games. And at the end of the day, the Bills can go 6-2, still finish 12-5, and be perfectly fine in a playoff conversation. You need to get tested.
We've got a lot of energy here on a Monday morning. DG, depending on how, we're not going to break all the schedules down right here, but right now, it basically is how Zeno just laid it out. Is you got the Chargers, but Denver plays the Chiefs twice. So they're going to knock each other out or pick each other up. I don't know. But right now, everybody's sleeping on the Patriots because they do believe the Bills are still the best team, even though they laid an absolute egg. And the Dolphins waiting way too long. They beat the Falcons by 24, and now they beat the Bills by 17, but they're 3-7. So it's too late for the Dolphins, but they are certainly playing the role of spoiler very, very well.
They are. And the Patriots in general, they look so good. Drake May has looked so good. They look like they're a well-oiled machine at this point. And so there's nothing sexy to how they play just in general, but they play really good football. But on the Bills side, Mama said there'd be days like this, okay? They sucked Sunday, but that doesn't mean that the window is shut, Raphael. I'm taking my boy Zeno's side on this one, and we're testing you after the show.
Whoa. What did you just say? You're taking Zeno's side on this one?
I didn't want to, but I did.
No respect,
Raphael, whatsoever. Quickly looking at the Pats, Jets this Thursday. And Raphael, if you say one time it's a bad matchup, I'm going to smack you upside the head. Then at Cincinnati, then home to the Giants, bye week, then Buffalo in New England, at Baltimore, at the Jets, and then Miami. So not the hardest, certainly not the easiest schedule on tap for them. As we look elsewhere, though, right now, Zeno, let me come back over to you, because right now the NFC West is the best division in the NFC. 2 7-2 teams. San Francisco at 6-4. Who do you think right now is better, Seattle or the Rams? I got about 30 seconds for you.
I mean, in the interest of integrity, I have to say Seattle, because I kept telling people I think the Rams are overrated, and I still kind of do think they're overrated. But Seattle's defense is what really sells me.
That seems like it was really hard for you to say.
It was great to hear.
Really hard. Now, if people are sleeping on one team, DG, they might be sleeping on the Rams, because Puka Nacua hasn't even been healthy. He's been coming out of games. His normal 10 for $110 has not been there, and they're still scoring 40? How good are Rams to you?
The Rams are really good. And both of the number one receivers, JSN for Seattle, but Puka Nacua there for the Rams. I trust Matt Stafford more. I never thought I would say that, but I love this Rams team. I think that they're coached really well. Matt Stafford being a vet, I think that's a really good combination there with Puka. And then Cooper Kupp showed up yesterday. I forgot he was in the league.
He did. In 30 seconds, you talk about a window closing, taking my bet aside from Big Cheesy. The 49ers window, Raphael, might be closing at this point because nobody can stay healthy on this football team.
The 49ers and Bills are going to be on my couch watching the Super Bowl because both their windows are closed.
Wow, we're going to put a pin. We're going to be taking this video out to see who's right. Zeno and DG, or my man standing on business. My guy, Raphael.
To say a team won't be in the Super Bowl versus the field is not a very high leverage bet.
Hot take, Raphael. Hot take, baby. Stand on your business. Don't let it bully you around the show. Don't let him do that.
Defense. 2 words. Bills defense.
Still to come. We're only halfway home. We got Monday Night Football. It is the Eagles and the Packers. We dig deeper. And also NBA full slate tonight, 11 on the hardwood. We got the showcase. It's Coach and Company. Busy Monday. Stadium. Valley Sports Live.
I got this text. I was at the end of a pay-per-view. I read it. I was mortified. Like I was actually personally offended being a friend of his. And the person had sent me that, and they said they want you to say it exactly like this.
Who's they?
Yeah, who was that? You know? And so I just took it to the lead writers immediately because like I said, it was thing.
Because it was very poorly.
So I said, hey, did this come from you guys? And was there a discussion about this? Because never in my life have I ever been given a promo where I'm told to say exactly like this. So not never in my life, but not recently. Not recently. And they're like, that never came from us and we never saw that. You don't have to listen to that person ever again. And it's like, wow, that's insane. Like my friend is no longer with us. There was not even a discussion about this. And you're sending this to me saying it's, you know, you're insinuating that's gone to a chain of command. It never did.
You can watch the entire 60-minute interview with Karrion Kross and his lovely wife, Scarlett, at our BTT YouTube page. We always put it into the chat. It's very, very easy. Follow me on social media. They are two of the most polarizing wrestling personalities in the world today, and people still cannot believe that the WWE released them. But as they told us in that video, they're making more money now out on the indies, traveling around the world, setting their own schedule than they did inside of the WWE, if that tells you anything. The world's changing. Wrestling, media, it's all changing. You better be ready to change with it. And if you're out there wondering or you're questioning anything in your own life, watch this interview. Watch this interview because you can take a lot away from it. All right, for those of you watching here on our YouTube channel, we're only about halfway home. Don't forget, coming up in 45 minutes, we got the podcast. We're going to get in a little bit deeper into the weekend it was in college football and the NFL and get you set for the rest of the day. But right now, it's all about one of the best Monday night matchups, at least on numbers and stars and players that we've had the entire year. It's time to break it down. We're back on Coach and Company on Stadium, Bally Sports Live, YouTube, and socials in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's Coach and Company here on Stadium and Bally Sports Live. If you're watching on YouTube, if you could hit that like button for me on your way in, it really helps the show grow. And if you're not already a subscriber, please do it to both of our YouTube channels. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, we played part of that Karrion Kross interview, Coach and Bro, twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. Today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we have another great episode, and that show is absolutely growing. And don't forget, tonight, it's the Monday Night Grind, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for about 45 minutes. It is YouTube only, social media only. And Raphael, I got to see your face. Because anytime we have a game that's essentially a pick'em, it's been moving, started around 2.5, now it's all the way down to 1. Any little nuggets on this game that we can start us off with right now?
Yeah, most of the line move was because the Eagles bettors betting money line bets. Not taking the plus points, they took the money line. Do we see a pick? That's what sportsbooks are asking themselves probably right now. Do we need to move it to a pick? They already know this total is going to be 46. 2 books moved it to 46 since we've been on the air. Could we see 46.5? It's going to be very interesting to see what the number closes. I think it could go to pick because a lot of Eagle money continues to come in.
All right, so let me ask you this. There's a lot of new bettors out there watching the show for entertainment. They're trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. What's the big deal when it's +1?
Well, the single bettors are looking at okay, if I'm going to take +1, I'll take the plus money, just go money line. If I can get plus even money or plus 105, why take the +1? I can get a better juice because +1 is either juice minus 110 or minus 112. I'll just take the money line and get either plus 105 or even money. That's probably the biggest difference. And the books have to take liability when it's the money line.
All right. And if you do it every single day, 10 or 15 cents, that can absolutely matter over the course of time, as Raphael, you always teach us. All right, Raphael is going to go into the chat. Any questions, I'll answer them for you in real time. But it's time to dig a little bit deeper into Monday Night Football, the last game of, I believe this is week number 10. Let's kick it off. Zeno and Big Chuck are back with us, and we can bring Chuck on as well whenever we can, producer man. DG, let's start with you right now because this one is hovering around 1. You just heard what Raphael had to say. The total at 45.5 as the game take. Where are you headed?
I really like the Eagles, unfortunately, because being a Cowboys fan, I hate the Eagles, but I also hate the Packers. But looking at this game and how it plays out, I really just see the team with a better run game, in my opinion, but also a better quarterback in the conditions because it's going to be snowy, it's going to be frigid. And at that point, I'm going to take the team that doesn't have to do as much to win. And I think they can get it down on the ground.
How is this where it's at, Big Chuck, when the Packers at home just lost to the Panthers, the same team that yesterday lost to your Saints by double digits? Make this make sense.
Packers look ahead game to this one, and then the Carolina coming off a big game, just a classic letdown spot. Just the way it works. Public perception is a beautiful thing. You just ride along each week to week. I definitely like the Packers though in this one, getting that short home favorite in this one. If anyone's used to these elements, it is the Packers team.
Zeno, you're on the Packers money line. You just hear what Chuck has to say, and this is where chopping it up is always fun because if you're just looking at this game, the Eagles for the public would be the play because they don't dive into these games. Why are you so bullish on the Packers tonight without some of their weapons?
Oh, because I'm fading the public, and the public is usually wrong. But beyond that, I mean, look, if the Packers get the run game going and get Josh Jacobs moving, that really makes Jordan Love's life a heck of a lot easier. And that's where this will be schemed open by Matt LaFleur and the Packers offense. I think at the end of the day, the Eagles are well prepared for Micah Parsons. They've faced him several times over in Dallas, so they know what he's capable of and they know where he can go. And that should help them out offensively. But with the conditions and a kind of slower muck it up, run fest here, I'll give the edge to Green Bay.
And it's interesting too, DG, when you look at the records, because right now with that one in the tie column, every one of these games is so incredibly important, not just to win the division because they have three other teams that are nipping at their heels, but at some point we've got to start talking about the number one seed and the bye. Both of these teams are in position because they have the best record as far as the loss column is concerned, tied in the entire NFC.
Yeah, this game's going to come down towards the very end of the season, right? So, yeah, we're in week 10, but week 17, 18, we'll look at this game and go, well, they're holding the tie now because of that. This game means a lot for both these teams because they both should be in the playoffs and both going for that number one seed, potentially home field advantage in the playoffs. And so, yes, I still think the Packers being a good team, I just don't know if I trust Jordan Love in the conditions.
Big Chuck, you're my totals guy. And yesterday, especially the late games, I mean, sailing over into the 60s. Is this a game that's a hidden total for the over tonight or no?
Originally, I was thinking it would be a under. These teams traditionally go under, but the more I'm looking at it, I'm thinking this one's going to go over. These teams have went over combined 9 of their last 10. Plus, I think the over correlates more with the Packers. I think they want more of a higher scoring team, a higher scoring game, whereas the Eagles, they would do better with a lower scoring outcome.
9 out of 10. All right, Zeno, let's flip it over now and look at the running backs. You already mentioned Josh Jacobs, and he kind of is the bell cow when you're talking about the Packers. And this could be the difference tonight in how this game goes or how many points is being scored and the pace. So when we look at on the ground, we know the Eagles have a superstar. But on the other side, we can't sleep on Josh Jacobs as well.
No, we can't. And I mean, look, the Packers are third in the league in EPA per play on offense. And a lot of that has to deal with Josh Jacobs' ability to pick up big chunks of yards in the run game. And that's where I would look. I mean, his longest rush prop, might be a way to go as well. But if they can't get the run game going, Green Bay is dead in the water. Against that Eagles pass rush, it's not going to be a good night for Jordan Love.
And right now, it is frozen right now where we put the numbers up there from BetMGM. But sometimes when you don't like the number, DG, and you don't like certain things, then having a longest rush or rush attempts, sometimes that's a really, really smart way to go.
Yeah, you got to dissect it and figure out where's the edge. And that's what we're always looking for is where's the edge. I'm looking over at Saquon's receiving yards. I think he's going to be able to get out of the backfield and be that check down for Hurst tonight. I don't know what the number is exactly, but I know that I like just him on the ground, catching those passes, though, just dinking those dunks and getting some extra yardage.
Well, right now I have it open over at BetMGM, and I apologize, but tech freezes sometimes as they make their adjustments. If we're looking at it right now, Saquon At 75 plus is still minus 150. I hate how BetMGM does this because you can't see their actual numbers. But obviously they're too high. And he's averaging 65, Zeno, 65 yards a game. He went for 150 last time. It seems like the Eagles have woken up because they weren't using him for 4 or 5 weeks. Do you think they'll go back to the well? Because, 14 for $150, that's why he's the best.
Well, it kind of depends on what you want your poison to be, right? The Packers' run defense got considerably better with the addition of Micah Parsons, and trying to run against that level of linebacker isn't easy. But in the same respect, do you want Micah Parsons breathing down the back of Jalen Hurts' neck all night long? And I think the answer is no. So it depends on how they want to do it. And look, with the Packers not having a lot of weapons in, the pass game on their own, there could be a lot of 3 and outs, and that could leave the Eagles with the option to continue to run the ball a lot more in this game and control the game that way.
All right. And that's one narrative that could happen. But for the Eagles, they constantly have, and let's switch it over now to the receivers. When you got 2 big name guys, and Devontae never says anything. It's just like, hey, whatever I get, I'll take. And then when usually they feature him, he has a big game. A.J. Brown, he's not like that. When you don't use him, Big Chuck, he's not happy about that. Tonight, how do we keep both guys happy if the narrative is, Saquon, we're going to pound the rock with you?
I don't think you have to worry about Devontae. He's just going to stay even keel happy regardless. This AJ's the one who's temperamental. So I'm sure they'll try to get him the ball, but I always like going with Devontae. He's usually got a lower number than AJ, and I always think he's a little bit more dependable. But I'm still going to go back to the tight end. I think Goddard has a big night. I think that's the one you really want to look at as far as receiving core.
Right now, he's 32.5, and receptions for Smith, DG, and A.J. Brown are both 4.5. If you had to, which guy would you favor more in that category?
I really like the receiving yards overall to A.J. Brown. Like, if I'm looking at anything, because he's done this in the last 2 weeks, gone over the 55.5 number just overall. I just think he's more the trusted guy at the moment. The only thing that worries me is the conditions. It's not supposed to snow at that moment, but being that cold, can Hurts do anything? And maybe, and I'm talking myself through this, Devontae Smith over top, because at that point, it's less of the bullet passes and more the go and run underneath of it. And so maybe that's a good look for Devontae Smith.
All right, there we have the BetMGM up there with all the different numbers. Thank you, producer man. Zeno, let's go over to the Packers side, because Tucker Kraft, you could argue, is the best or one of the top 2 or 3 tight ends in all of football, and he goes down with a torn ACL. So now names like Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Luke Musgraves, they've got to step up. Who would you favor on the Packers side through the air?
Boy, I'd love to be able to say Matthew Golden, but it's been more like Matthew Ghostin, because we haven't seen any of him entire season. But I don't know. At some point, does it start to click for him? When you look at, reception yards, or at least, receptions themselves, I'd like to think Golden is the guy, but Doubs seems to be the main target that always gets Jordan Love's attention.
It does feel that way, Big Chuck. One thing I did look at is we've been focusing the last few weeks on the longest reception to a certain receiver, and you're saving 10, 11, sometimes even 12 yards instead of doing longest completion. Tonight, Doubs is 21.5. Watson is a guy that always likes to fly. It only takes one. Which guy do you think could take the top off? Because they've got to take a couple of shots tonight.
I think they'll probably try to take away Mr. Romeo, but I like Mr. Watson to come out. And that's a low number. And like you said, he can just get it in just one long bomb. We see him generally. They usually try to strike to him a couple times a game. He just gets one of those. I like his longest reception, and I definitely like his receiving yards.
Yeah, he is right now, when you talk about his receiving yards, 38.5, a little juicy, around minus 130, but they're not even hitting the 40 number right now. So it all depends, but there's a reason those numbers are where they are. Gentlemen, well done on the breakdown. Do not forget, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's the Monday Night Grind. Also, who's going to be the next person getting into the Legends Lounge? We don't have Zeno in there yet. DG, I don't believe, is kicking it in the club. Big Chuck, I don't even remember. Big Chuck, are you in? Yes or no? Shake your head. You are in the lounge, aren't you? No, you're not in the lounge. Oh, my goodness. We've got some all-stars that still need to get in. We'll do it all tonight. Also, we do Boomer Busta. We do Playmakers. We do all of that coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. All right, still to come on the other side, we focus on the 2 nationally televised games every single day in the NBA. And there's been a lot of points. And the Pistons, surprise team. We'll discuss them next. Coaching Company right here, Stadium and Valley Sports Live. All right, gentlemen. So when LeBron James does not play to start the season, you would assume ratings would go down. But DG, that's not the issue here. It's actually going way up. Why do you think right now the ratings across the board are up for the NBA?
Well, I think if you look at the new platforms, a lot of people are excited about the way NBC is presenting, the NBA just as a whole, the games. They're doing different look-ins, but also I think people are having, the different streaming platforms, whether it is Prime Video or whether it is the Peacock or wherever you can watch these games. I think that people already have those, but these other companies are trying to show it in a different light than just a normal ESPN or TNT, the way they did it.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because Peacock is Monday or Tuesday, then NBC is, I believe, on Tuesdays. Zeno, they're putting analysts, instead of just the obligatory, no offense to any sideline reporter, they're putting former players. Robbie Hummel and Austin Rivers are sitting on the benches giving you their take from a player perspective. I've loved that aspect of what NBC and Peacock are doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think there are nuances to the broadcasts themselves and the way you execute it from different networks and different platforms and how they choose to do it. But we're kind of burying the lead here. Yes, NBA ratings are up, but they were really down low over the last couple of years. It's been a massive downward trend. So the fact that they're up, I mean, they still got outrated by the World Series. And will continue, which is not a good thing because baseball is a distant third or fourth when it comes to viewed sports. So, I mean, it's a nice story for the NBA, but again, they really had nowhere to go but up. If their ratings kept going even lower, there was going to be financial crisis going forward.
No kidding. And all those WNBA players, what would they have done? Bananas. By the way, there is a nationally televised game every single weekday night. Peacock, NBC, the network, which is a huge, Amazon Prime, ESPN. I love it. So, every single night you're getting a nationally televised game. All right, we're going to talk about those two nationally televised games and a young team out of the Motor City that people are sleeping on. DJ educates us in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Lock it in. All of the crew will be back to present our best bets. If you weren't here at the top of the hour, don't even worry about it. We got you covered. It's going to be 5 straight winning days for us starting today. All right, now let me bring in DG and Zeno because every single day at this time we do the NBA showcase on the 2 nationally televised games. And early on, DG, we're going to see a lot of teams that normally don't get that national platform. And I think that's the way that it should be. Detroit, last night, they go on the road to Philadelphia. They win a barn burner. Defense down the stretch. Now, tonight, defense might be an afterthought, but you want to focus on the Pistons themselves. What do you got?
Yeah, just like the longtime PA announcer, John Mason, the Detroit basketball. Listen, they have not been and won a playoff series since 2008, a championship since 2004. This is the up-and-coming Pistons in a sense of we now have the Cade Cunningham show, and he is turning into a top 10 player in the entire league. I love this Pistons team, how they play. They have the defensive side, but also they can shoot. Cade Cunningham is running the show with also a big guy in Jalen Duren. And so this team is legit. They're top in the East. And so I expect them to be in the top, if not one of the top 3 in the East at the end of the season.
Right now, they're 8-2 in a loaded Central with the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Bulls, Milwaukee, and Indiana, who went to the finals a year ago. Washington is 1-9. But Zeno weighing in on just the Pistons. I watched a lot of that game last night. It was kind of the only thing on. They're a really solid team. How long before everybody's talking about this Pistons team?
I mean, I think this, the secret's out on them. When I look at this game, I'm still not comfortable living in a world where the Pistons are laying at 11.5 to anybody. I mean, I did have the Jazz the other night when they were laying 9.5 to them, and the Jazz covered that game. So I'm not ready to, when we talk from a betting perspective, put the Pistons in a place where they're laying these kind of numbers against opponents. But yes, winning games early on and being relevant and taking care of business. Again, I mean, it was DG's Memphis, Utah, Brooklyn, and the 76ers were their last 4 wins. Not exactly a murderer's row of NBA talent here across the board. But again, the secret's out on the Pistons. They're a good team. I don't know where they'll be come April, but enjoy the run while it's here.
Hey, and then in the NBA, we know this. You win the games that you have to. You do it with the emphasis, if that's a word, and do it emphatically. All right, let's flip it over to the second game tonight, featured on the national platform. And that is another team that doesn't play defense, the Hawks. I like the Clippers DG in this one. They've been struggling as of late. So when you get a team like the Hawks coming into town, you want to take advantage of the fact that there's no Trae Young, and they also don't play very much defense. Your thoughts on game number 2 tonight?
Yeah, I'm curious who plays for the Clippers, Coach, because we don't know anybody who's going to play, whether they're going to be sitting, resting, or injured or what. But this Clippers team now 3-6 on the season, being favored by 4.5. I'm looking at this other side of the Hawks, and is Jalen Johnson going to play? If he plays, that number could move a little bit, but overall, this Hawks team is not good at defense. We should see a Clippers win. Can they cover the 4.5? That's a great question. I don't know that one, but I do think the Clippers are better.
I get every game locally and the pre and post game show. And Zeno, I got to tell you, got about 30 seconds for you. This Clippers team is frustrating because they have the OGs that don't care about playing. They don't care about the load management narrative. And Kawhi Leonard is always going to do what he wants to do, which is why most of the time, betting wise, I just stay away from the Clippers and the late games.
Yeah, by the way, the trend is the Hawks are much better defensively without Trae Young on the court. And that's been that way for several years now. Clippers are banged up. Hawks are banged up. Smells like an under to me.
Okay. And you live there locally in Atlanta. Do they get any play? Are they like the front story on the local news ever? Or is it Falcons and everybody else?
No, I think the biggest news they got over the course of the last week was one of their employees stole like $300 million from the company on a credit card. I think that was about it.
How do you get to $300 million before you realize that it's gone? That's what I want to know. How does it go 5 years? Oh, now we just noticed $300 million. All right. I am fired up for a reason. Because us, like a lot of other shows, we've been on that just losing juice 500. That changes. That changes today. Let's lock it in. All right, 10 seconds or less. Just 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need for every single play. DG, start us off.
We're going to start with Brandon McManus. We're going to go over the 1.5 field goals. It's at plus 105. The game will be cold, but I'm looking at how the kickers can come into play. There could be some stoppage because of that. I think this game, go ahead and light up some field goals here. I like McManus tonight. And let's go to the NBA. Jaden McDaniels for the Timberwolves. We're going to go over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's at minus 110. The guy is playing exceptional. It's on a back-to-back, but he only played 26 minutes in a blowout last night. I like Jaden McDaniels tonight.
Also, Utah does not play defense at all right now. So we have that. Let's go downstairs. Big Chuck, you're up next.
Going into the NFL, Eagles, Packers, and Mr. Dallas Goedert over 32.5 receiving yards. For whatever reason, this Packers defense struggles against tight ends. They've allowed at least 41-7 straight. And then the NHL, soccer on ice, Jersey Devils and the Islanders, and especially Islanders games have been high scoring. 12 of their last 16 have went over the total. And we get an even number. I'll gladly back the over 6.
All right, Raphael, coming up to you. What do you got?
I mean, the Packers team total over 22.5. The total will probably go to 46 or 46.5. So grab the 22.5 because it will move. And then give me Jalen Hurts to score a TD at plus 3 nickels, plus 115. He's in a 2-game scoring drought. Why don't you do a tush push to the team that tried to ban the tush push, the Green Bay Packers?
Zeno.
Don't you love how Raph had to add that in at the end that the Packers wanted to ban the tush push and he wants them to score the tush push. Very on brand for Raphael.
It really is.
Packers money line here. I'm fading the public who's all over the Eagles as his number has come down here. Packers looking for a bounce back after a bad loss last week to Carolina. We'll head to college hoops. LSU minus 19.5 over at New Orleans, who stole a win from TCU in the opener. But this team was 4-27 last year. The LSU Tigers, while they're busy paying Brian Kelly, will find a way to win this game by 20 or more.
Plenty of college basketball tonight for your betting pleasure. All right, every single day, we like to make you a little smarter. Raphael?
We're going to the NHL. The Vegas Golden Knights have covered the puck line in each of their last 6 games as a home favorite against a struggling Florida Panthers. They've been struggling on the road, Florida. Love the puck line.
All right. That's one of 4 games tonight, Florida at Vegas, 10 o'clock Eastern time. And finally, the performance of the weekend as we wrap things up goes to the Houston Texans. And you talk about bad beats. Did you guys see the finish of this game? Depending on what you had it was like 1.5. But the Jags were up 29-23 with less than 40 seconds to go in the game. So how in the world, DG, does Houston score 2 touchdowns in the last 31 seconds to beat the Jags by 7 and cover in the process? Brutal. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, it's over for me. I can't trust you ever again.
It's Davis Mills, coach. Duh. Everybody knows Davis Mills is a superstar in the league and just throwing all over him. So, yes, that's why.
19 points they were down, Zeno. 19. And the Jags let him win and cover.
Guess what? The Jaguars' defense is bad. And that's really what it boils down to. The quarterback play is subpar. And I kind of wish Liam Cohen didn't take that job because it may be the end of him there because I don't think he can make Trevor Lawrence any better.
He ripped off his headset. He was so pissed, and he should have been, because, Raphael, that was embarrassing that they not only didn't win the game but didn't even cover as well.
Yeah, they might have a new head coach and maybe a new quarterback next year because I think they might want to cut ties with Trevor Lawrence now.
Can't.
Just hand him the bag. Big Chuck, 15 seconds.
Davis Mills comes through. Couldn't get a drive together to beat the Broncos, but then he wants to play superhero against the Jags. Go figure.
That's very true. Gentlemen, well done on Monday. I know you're all very, very busy today, so good luck on your shows and good luck on your platforms. In the meantime, show number 1 is done, but we are far from being finished today. There's only one thing left to do, however, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team, damn it, do I love them all. My guy, DG, Zeno, Raphael, Big Chuck. Never forget about producer man, always making the show look like $1 million. Podcast coming. Off the Ropes is coming. Coach and Bro is coming. Monday Night Grind tonight. I am simply the coach trying to navigate this ship. We are live on Stadium, Valley Sports Live, and we'll see you later today. Take care.